Well, hello and welcome to the video. Let's talk about why you need more than one stream of income in today's modern world that we all live in. And then we'll talk about a few different ideas of some things that you might want to consider starting or beginning so that you can start making more money in more different ways. The reason that you need more than one stream of income today is that the world is more unstable than it has ever been in the past. Jobs go away overnight, companies go out of business, companies sometimes get bought up, they go public, different things happen, new managers come in, they let people go. You may think your job is secure. You could go into work tomorrow and get a slip that says you're no longer employed, or get called in the office and terminated with no reason given. That sadly happens to a lot of people these days. And even a company that's been around for a long time, I've seen several companies lately that were more than 100 years old that have gone out of business in the past year. A lot of factors at play: fuel cost, insurance cost, the economy, all kinds of different things can cause once stable companies to disappear almost overnight. So if you put all your eggs in somebody else's basket that you do not own, meaning that your whole financial being and well-being is relying on the income from one company that you're employed at, that's problematic. And sooner or later, it's liable to bite you in the backside. So it's much better off, even if you like the work that you do, you like the job that you're at, you like the company, why not establish at least one, if not two or more additional streams of income that are equal to or better than what you currently make on a regular monthly basis. I call that POE, point of equilibrium. So when you get your income up from another stream of income where that source is making as much or more than you typically make full time doing whatever you're doing, that's a good place to be. That's a point of equilibrium. And in a case like that, then you have more choices. If you like the work you're doing, keep doing it, keep doing both. Have that income, put it into, first of all, eliminating debt, put it into savings, emergency reserves, put it back into the business itself to make more money. And once you've got all those things taken care of, instead of going out and buying a bigger, more expensive home, which that can be okay too, but there's a time and a place to do that. But instead of running right out as soon as you possibly can and buying a much bigger, fancier home with a bigger mortgage, maintain the living standard that you currently have for a while, eliminate more debt, get more savings, get more emergency reserve funds, put more money back into your business to help make more money. And then you might even want to consider starting a third business. Once you've got the first one up and operating, there's systems and things that you can learn, management control systems, ways of running a business that take very little time once you get it up and get the pump prime, so to speak. It's what I call it. When you that's the hardest part, is getting enough money to get it launched, to get it up to where it's making a profit. And then once you reach that, there are things that you can do and systems you can put in place for almost any kind of business, if you know what you're doing, that will put that thing on almost automatic pilot or autopilot. You still have to track, manage, and control your numbers. You have to track, manage, and control your key production partners and people that you have doing work for you, whether they're contractors or employees or whatever the case may be. But you can step away from it. You don't have to work in the business every day. You work on the business as far as overseeing it. When you get to that point, you can take your knowledge, your skills, your expertise, some of the money that you've earned, and some of the contacts and sources that you have discovered and come across and now have access to, and use that to start a third business, which will be even easier for you to get up and operating and profitable than the first one was. So now you have three sources of income. You got your work, your job, whatever it was that you were doing. You get that second company that you started and built up to point of equilibrium or better, and now you've got a third business that you have up and making money. And you can stop there and be comfortable with that and just track, manage, and control your finances. There's things that you can learn and do about that will help you get ahead tremendously. That's more than enough for a lot of people right there. But if you want to keep on going after it, you can keep working to build your own business empire. It sounds like a little bit of a hoity-toity name, so to speak, but really all it means is that you're going to use the specialized information, the knowledge, the skills, and the resources that you have obtained doing these first business or two and getting those off the ground and running profitably to be able to continue to create another business. and then another one after that. And how far you go is totally up to you. That's up to your own goals. It's up to your own dreams. It's up to your own skills and ability and drive and ambition, how hard you want to work to make that happen. So, but it's certainly possible. Millions of other people have done that. Now, I will say that that is uncommon percentage-wise. If you're looking at the average person that, just goes to work and punches the clock, or, these days it's an app on a phone or something like that, but they're still getting paid hourly, or they're getting paid by salary, and they, go home at the quitting time and they're off on the weekends, and that's all they do. They don't think beyond that. The majority of folks aren't ever going to get into that category, but the people that are motivated and seriously success-driven and that work hard to keep expanding their knowledge, their skills, their abilities, and putting in their time and the effort are making a lot of money from multiple different businesses over time. Now, I'll caution you about guru garbage. There's a lot of stuff on the internet. There's a lot of people out there talking about how easy it is and anybody can do this, and you just buy this program and the money's just going to roll in. That's all crap. I have, in all my years of studying business, especially small business entrepreneurship, micro businesses, things of that nature, real estate, trucking, real estate investments, owner-operator businesses, and lots of other things, I have yet to find one of those things that is truly legitimate. I've seen lots and lots of claims and lots of mess put out there, but it's all crap, and it just, it irritates me, and it always has, that people do that kind of thing. But you just need to understand that. The secret is there are no secrets. There are business fundamentals that you learn and do, and then put those in place toward a specific objective, and you keep working at that until you achieve it. And you make sure that the objective and the goal that you choose and that you pick is aligned with something that's actually profitable and that you can do. So, there's ways to figure out what to do research, to figure out what's the best business for you right now, to choose to learn more about and get it up and running and get that going and make it happen. So these are things for you to think about. Look into the possibility of you at least going, you don't have to sort of go do the whole thing, certainly right out of the gate, but consider the concept, and at least consider for now adding just one more stream of income. Start one business that you can build up to the point of equilibrium to where it equals or exceeds what you're currently making. And how great would that be? How much more confidence would you have going into work every day at the job that you've been working for years, and that maybe you want to stay at for a few years. Hopefully it stays around for you. But now, you're making double that money, and the other 50% of that total income that you have is from sources that you control, that they do not control. And if you're smart, and I know you are, you wouldn't be out there trying to get information to do better in business and life. But if you exercise that intelligence and you put that money to work for you instead of just letting it go away by buying a bunch of other consumer crap that you don't need and can't yet truly, honestly afford, then there will come a day where you can pretty much afford anything within reason that you want legitimately, and not have a bunch of consumer debt toward that. You will always have plenty of money in the bank. You will have the security of that. And the more money you have in the bank, the more money you have in other assets, the more money you have coming in from sources that you control, the more confidence that you have. So if you have an employer that decides to put somebody in charge that's going to be your supervisor, who is now maybe not as well trained as they should be, not as nice as they should be, and want to be somewhat abusive, then you can stand up for yourself with confidence. Say, hey, look, I'm not putting up with that. You need to get this person, and whereas in a case where you feel that you're in a situation that is insecure, you don't have other income, and you're living paycheck to paycheck, you might be reluctant to stand up to that employer, because you really got to have that income, or otherwise you start getting your power cut off, your water cut off, your gas cut off, you lose your property through foreclosure or eviction or something of that nature, if you start having financial issues where you're not bringing that income in. But when you have the confidence that other streams of income give you, you don't have to put up people's crap. You sit there and say, look, that's not right. I'm not doing that. I want to talk to your supervisor, or just go around them and go up to the next person and say, look, this person's trying to do things that are not proper, and I'm not interested in it. And if it's not going to be rectified, I'm not going to be able to continue my relationship here. And if they fix it, great. If they don't fix it, then you say, shake hands and walk away friends, or just walk away. with confidence because you have plenty of money coming in from another source or another 2 sources or another 3 sources. So it gives you a great amount of freedom, flexibility, and confidence. And I like that. You know, that's a great place to be in life. And that's the opposite of what most people have. So there's lots of reasons for you to consider building your own business empire into establishing additional streams of income, learning business principles. And a few things I want to talk to you about too that you might want to consider. One thing is, if you're looking to make a complete change and you want to leave what you're doing right now and get into something that you can get qualified for, learn the basic fundamentals and principles of it, and start making real good money in just a few weeks, probably somewhere between 4 and 8 weeks from the time you start to the time you begin to make decent money. And within 12 weeks, you're making, which is 3 months, you are making very good money. And when I say very good money, I'm talking about potentially close to 6 figures per year and working toward that. That industry is trucking. It's something I've got a lot of years in. I've trained a lot of people to become truck drivers, to become owner operators, to become freight brokers, to become freight agents, to become dispatchers and other things in trucking. But the best point of entry, in my opinion, to the trucking industry, no matter what you might want to do in it later, is to become a truck driver. One, it's a short training cycle compared to other things you got to go to college for years. It's relatively low cost considering the amount of income it's going to give you as soon as you get it completed. And it opens up the world of opportunity to all these other things within the trucking industry. So it's a great thing to go after. You go to truck driver training school, CDL school, complete their training, usually about 4 weeks on average. Average tuition, $6,000 or $8,000 or so, depending on where you're at in the country, what school you go to, that kind of thing. They're going to teach you theory, which is all classroom stuff. Then they're going to take you out to a range, teach you how to do pre-trip inspections, teach you how to do maneuvering, which is very basically and primarily backing. They're going to take you out on the road, teach you how to make left turns, right turns, accelerate, decelerate, change lanes, drive on the interstate, all sorts of other things. Get the fundamental skills up to the level that you need to be able to pass your state skills test. And you do that, you have a CDL, which is a commercial driver's license. You're eligible to go to work for another carrier. You can find a job. If you choose a good job, you can find a company that offers an additional training program. They send you out basically almost like an apprentice type deal for another week or 2 weeks or so with a good company. And you'll get real world experience. You'll get more driving experience, actually picking up live loads, backing into docks, getting loaded and unloaded, dealing with shippers and consignees and enforcement personnel, and running up and down the highway, dealing with your dispatch and the key people in your company. And on top of that, you'll learn your own company's technology. Everybody these days is using some kind of tablet or computer for loads and communicating and hours of service and all that stuff. You'll learn how to do all that and get good at it. And then you look at the company and see if they have a recruiting referral program, if they have a training program. Now, you can't get into being a trainer right out the gate, or you shouldn't. You don't want to work for a company like that. But usually after you have 9 months to a year or so of sustained superior performance, you can start looking into becoming a trainer and then earning additional money doing that. You can earn additional money recruiting drivers. I call that a rolling recruiter program. You're out there rolling up and down the highway, in the truck stops, at the shippers, at the consignees. That's where all the other drivers are at anyway. Go talk to your fellow drivers, find the ones that are not happy with the companies they're at, recruit them over to your company. If your company is good enough for you, it's good enough to bring other people on board too. And if it's not, you're at the wrong company. Find and get on board the right company and be proud to recruit people. I just talked to a recruiter yesterday, asked them what they're currently paying their recruiting referral fee to their drivers who bring on board other drivers. That's $1,000 per. So every driver they bring to that company, they get $1,000. You bring in 10 drivers, it's $10,000. You bring in 100 drivers, $100,000. So if you pursue that like a business, like it is, and you go out and do it, and again, there's things that you can learn how to approach people, learn how to get the contact information, learn how to put them in a database, learn how to follow up through email and by voice and by even occasionally snail mail, that sort of thing. Learn how to stay in touch with people, keep your database up to date, and be patient. Once you get that pipeline full and keep it full, you have a steady stream of people coming in and going to orientation every week, and you're getting paid more and more money over time. You can actually make more money as a rolling recruiter than you make driving the truck. Sounds crazy, but it's true if you're good at it. And the best of all is you get to get the money you earn for driving the truck as well. So it's possible, theoretically, and in proven practice with some people. Now, again, it's not a guarantee because you have to actually go out there and be able to do this. Dave Ramsey said, it's one thing to know that you need to do a budget. It's another thing to actually do a budget. This is the same way. It's one thing to understand it and know what you need to do. It's another thing to get up and actually go out there and make it happen. But if you can make it happen, you could make $100,000, $80,000 to $100,000 a year driving a truck. You can make another $80,000 to $100,000 a year recruiting people. And then if you become a trainer after 9 months to a year, you can use that with the right company and some things I could teach you and show you to help you bring in more people as your recruits and referrals, so you get paid that way. And then they get assigned to you, or at least some of them get assigned to you to be trainees, and you get paid again that way. So I can show you ways to make all kinds of money, and you could conceivably make more than $250,000 a year as a new truck driver. And that's not an exaggeration. Now, is it guaranteed? Absolutely not. Is it a promise? Absolutely not, because you have to, as Ramsey says, you got to do the budget, not just be shown how, know that you need to. You actually have to get up and make that happen. I can show you how to make it happen. The rest of that is up to you and depends on how motivated and how hard you want to work. And I know for a fact that most people are not going to work that hard. They nod their head fore and aft that they want it, but when it comes down to do the work, they just don't. But it is available to you. And again, even as a top performing driver, if that's all you did, you're looking at $80,000+ a year your first year. Top performing. Now, to be clear, there are drivers who go out there and are not top performing drivers. They average $51,000, $52,000 a year gross. Some of them that really are terrible and aren't very good at what they're doing make $35,000, $45,000 a year. If you're not making at least $51,000, $52,000 your first year in trucking, you are doing something wrong. You need additional information, training, and coaching, and I can help you with that. But if you're not making at least that, it's something very wrong. And if you're a top performing driver, you should be able to make $80,000+ a year, because I know an awful lot of people that are doing that, and you could be one of them. Now, the other thing I want to mention to you is real estate. You say, real estate and trucking, how are you going to do that? Well, there's a company out here called EXP, which I'm also affiliated with. I think it's an outstanding company. It's a very good company for you to consider as well. You can take a principles real estate course, which covers the national and the state portion. You can do that all online on your computer and your tablet. You can do it from the comfort of your truck when you're at the shippers and receivers waiting to be loaded and unloaded, or when you're at your operating center, terminal, truck stop, wherever, at home for that matter. Any place that you have a computer, a tablet, phone, internet connection, you can take your course. So you can knock that out. A couple of $100, $300, depending on where you go to get it. I recommend the CE Shop. That's the letter C, the letter E, and shop, and the word "the" in front of it. The CE Shop. Go take their courses, and this is not a sponsored video. I'm not making anything for recommending you to them. At this point, I might in the future. I might sign up and be an affiliate someday, but right now I'm not getting paid anything for them, or from them, I should say, to recommend them. But I've used them. I like their product. I think it's good. And I like the fact that you can do that anywhere you want to, and it's affordable. So you could sign up with the CE Shop, take the Principles of Real Estate course, go through that, get it knocked out. Now, you're going to have to do a proctored exam to graduate the course. They can do that on the computer, but you got to have a good internet connection. They're going to have you pan it around the room, under the desk, and all that stuff. Make sure there's no notes and things you're not supposed to have. And then they're going to monitor what you're doing on your computer. You can take the exam, pass the course, and once you do that, it takes a little bit of time, but very shortly after that, it gets logged into the system for the third-party administrator, whoever in your state is administering your state licensure exam. You go pay them a fee, register for that. You can register online, pay the fee online. The day that you're assigned to go take your course, your test, I should say, you go in there, complete that exam. It's all on computer. Same thing, they're going to do security stuff, make sure you don't have notes and you don't have things you're not supposed to have. You go in there and take your course, come back out, they tell you whether you pass or not. If you do what I suggest, you'll pass on your first time. But again, it's like that budget stuff. You got to do the work to make that happen. Now, once you have your license, once you've completed the course, you got to do a fingerprint, background check, Once all that stuff is done, you need to pick a brokerage to affiliate with. I recommend EXP. EXP, one of the key reasons I recommend that is for you, especially if you want to do it as a truck driver, you can join EXP and you can do referrals or recruiting to EXP for other real estate agents, and you can earn a substantial amount of income from the agents that you send to EXP without even having to get out there and sell real estate right now yourself. And as you're continuing to study real estate and continuing to study the principles and real estate investing and real estate marketing and all the different aspects, you very well may decide at a future date you want to get more involved in it yourself and actually do listings and sales and do investing and things of that nature. But to start out, you're making all your money you're making in trucking, and you can start recruiting real estate agents. And if you're good at that, the company is going to continue to pay you on an ongoing basis for each productive agent that you bring in there. That's cumulative. It's compounding. So over a period of time, if you have enough agents in there, you're going to be making a substantial income from that as well. Potentially, again, like the first deal, there's nothing guaranteed. Everything depends on you actually doing the work and getting it taken care of. But the opportunity is there, the potential is there. So you're out there driving a truck, you're making potentially $80,000 to $100,000 a year. You're out here recruiting other truck drivers and bringing them in. You're making another $80,000 to $100,000 a year off of that. You're training drivers. You're making another $20,000 or $30,000 off of that. Sorry, you're not going to make quite as much as you make with the other things, but still, it's decent money. And the training helps you bring in more recruits, and I can tell you how to go about doing that as well. So that's a good income, very good income across the board doing that. And while you're sitting at customers, at shippers and receivers and downtime, you are also working on marketing to and recruiting real estate agents into EXP, and you're making a substantial and growing income from that alone. You can use that further on down the road to begin doing real estate investing. So the possibility of you building a true financial empire is there if you want to do it, and if you're willing to do the work and willing to put in the time and the effort and the things that are necessary to make that happen. So I hope that gives you a few things to think about. If you're interested in learning more, learning about my courses, the things I offer, ways I can help you out, reach out and get in touch. You can get a hold of me for a variety of different ways. You can check my site. It's the best place, ldsewell.com. That's LDSEWELL.com. Check out my courses page. Go to my free resources. Check out the groups, social media groups and things that I run. Be sure to join those. And reach out and get in touch with me. I'll be happy to schedule a personal one-on-one Google Meet meeting or a Zoom meeting or a phone call or something where we can talk. And when I say me, you're actually talking to me. You're not talking to some assistant or somebody in some other country. You're actually be able to set up an appointment and talk to me about your specific goals, your specific needs in small business entrepreneurship, in trucking, and real estate, and anything related to that. So thanks for watching. Subscribe while you're here if you haven't already, and I'll see you again soon in the next video.